All right, so here we are. A very good evening to all of you. Uh, this is a new section that we are starting, right? So, first of all, let me welcome you to this session today. We do understand that a lot of you right now, especially the CAT 24 audience, is going through a lot of confusion with B schools, right? So you are currently in the process of choosing the right B school, exploring the options. Some of you also come down and ask, sir, ये college का ये है तो मेरे को join करना चाहिए. Should I fill the form? Should I join? Should I go for the interview first of all? At this juncture, let me start by doing what a mentor does, right? So I will start by saying that first of all, at this juncture, you should have filled the right forms and quite a few of them, because you don't know if you filled one or two or three forms, you don't know whether you'll get calls from them or you'll convert them, right? So you should have a lot of options. Now those options we had already discussed a couple of times, that you should have some aspirational, realistic and backup colleges, so you be strategic about filling your forms. Well, I think that is done more or less, or that would be going on for some of you. At the same time, there's one more thought here, that once you fill the form, you don't think whether you should be appearing for it or not. You go for the interviews, you crack it. And then we will sit and discuss whatever final converts, final selections you will have. We can sit and discuss which one works better for you, for your profile. Right? So that is how the selection is done. So Abhi, confusion, please put it aside. Right? We've brought this series of sessions where we talk about B schools. We bring some really eminent guests from the B schools. We bring in some students along with, right? Some who've passed out of CL and have joined a particular B school. Some of the students who are studying there, for a while, or they've passed out of it. They are alumni of the school. So we invite these guests who can give you an actual idea, the insider view of what the B school is all about, right? And hence you will get a 360-degree picture of the B school. So get ready for the first session in the series, which features Institute of Rural Management in Anand, right? So IRMA, Institute of Rural Management Anand. Anand is in Gujarat, right? It is the milk capital of Gujarat. In fact, that is where Amul is based out of, right? And so I think I'll leave it to my guests to connect the two things there. So we will make sure that I will play the host, the moderator, and I will ask a lot of questions that you want to ask. At the same time, we will also open the stage and take your questions from the comments, so that you can directly talk to the esteemed guests who are visiting us today. So that's what we are going to do today. We will discuss the values and the value that IRMA provides to the students, right? The opportunities that IRMA provides, the significance of pursuing an MBA in rural management, and what does rural management really mean? There are a lot of perceptions in the market स्टूडेंट्स का कि रूरल मैनेजमेंट होगा तो हमारा प्लेसमेंट रूरल एरिया में होगा क्या, is a question, right? We will dispel all those doubts, because that is not the real case, right? I don't want to spill the beans because I know quite much about it, but we will wait for the guests to talk about these things, right? How this program opens up avenues for making a social impact also, right? Or those of you who are also interested in making money and creating a social impact, right? Probably this might be a good institute for you. So while building a successful career at that. So enough said, let me one by one, let me introduce all the speakers, right? So the first speaker who's with us is Professor Rajesh, Dr. Rajesh Jain, let me call him Dr. Rajesh Jain, who is currently working as assistant professor in strategy area at IRMA. He is also serving as associate dean admissions. Previously, he was an assistant professor in strategy and entrepreneurship area at IIM Ranchi. He has over 15 years of experience in senior management roles in business and corporate strategy in corporate sector. He pursued and completed his PhD in strategy area from IIM Lucknow. And before his doctoral studies, he gained valuable research experience as a research associate at the Center of Innovation, Incubation and Entrepreneurship, CIIE, at IIM Ahmedabad, the famous one. So, welcome, Dr. Rajesh. Good to have you here.
Good evening, and looking forward to interact with the prospective candidates and future managers.
Absolutely. Yes. Uh, the next speaker with us, the next panel member with us is Dr. Ghansham Mahavadi. You all know Ravi sir, Ravi Teja. Ghansham is Ravi's brother, right? He's an assistant professor in production operations management and QT area at IRMA Anand, right? He is also associate dean placements, so he is also responsible for the placements. He is a PhD from Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow. Pursued his PGP in management from Symbiosis International University, SIU, Pune. A bachelor's in technology from electrical and electronics engineering at Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University in Hyderabad. So a person who's been an engineer and a management person as well as a PhD, and now taking care of placements at IRMA. So he'll be able to give a lot of answers to us about that. Right. So welcome, Dr. Mahavadi.
Thank you for the opportunity. Looking forward to interacting with prospective managers.
Yes. Now let's bring on Mr. Shivansh Mishra. Shivansh has over 8 years of experience in the domain of communication as a consultant with government agencies and non-governmental organizations, and as a freelance writer for movie studios, OTT platforms, and varied content websites. So he has been working as head of communications at IRMA since July 2018. So welcome, Shivansh.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, our panel is not complete if we don't bring in our students. So let me start with Malika. So Malika is currently in the final year. She's in the batch of 2025 and she'll be passing out this year, right? She's also working as a placement coordinator at IRMA. So here is a student placement coordinator who will be answering your questions. So I think you'll get a real good idea about what's happening. She did her graduation in agriculture. So here's an example of a fitment, in terms of rural management, I assume. So undergraduate in agriculture from Pantnagar University. So hello, Malika. Welcome to the session.
Hi, sir. Hi, everyone. Looking forward for an engaging session.
All right. And we have a special guest, Pranita. Right? Pranita is from Kerala, basically, but she is an ex-CL student. So she's a CL alumnus, right? Who studied in CL Trivandrum Center. And now she is in IRMA. She's in this first year. So she'll be passing out next year, 2026 batch. So hi, Pranita. How are you?
Great, sir. Hi, sir. Hi, everyone. Looking forward to have a great session today.
Yes. So let me again welcome all the panel members to the discussion, and I will start with some questions. And I will start with the very obvious question first. And I request any of you to take this up from various perspectives. And the question is about perception. IRMA is about Institute of Rural Management at Anand. Okay, so rural management. First of all, what does rural management mean? And then let's come to a perception of whether IRMA focuses on rural management and what does that mean. So let's understand rural management first and then come to the second question later. So over to you.
So allow me. Hi everyone. I also happen to be an alum of IRMA. I was here from 2013 to 15. So the story of IRMA is steeped in the history of the white revolution of the country. There was a tacit need for many organizations which were coming up at that time. There was a tacit need for managers who could basically handle the operations or rather lead these organizations. And that was precisely why IRMA was created because all of these organizations were being created for the rural areas and not just in the rural areas. So I think there's a perception about for and in. We'll talk about it later, of course. Rural management is all about understanding and working for the rural areas of the country, because there's still a lot of potential. More than 60% of the population of our country is living in rural areas. And I think our founder, Chairman Dr. Verghese Kurian, he was a visionary genius. He foresaw all of this 45 years ago when he established the institution. He knew that the future eventually of the country would lie in the rural areas themselves. So he created, with the help of many other academicians of repute, national and international, this domain of rural management, which would teach people, that is the students, everything about top-notch management education, but then give them a perspective of the rural areas of the country. So you would be learning the best of the best from the best of the best, but your orientation would also include, and not just oriented towards, but it would also include the rural areas of the country. So when you start thinking, your horizon broadens, as in when you sit in an IRMA classroom.
So I will add
Just
here.
to,
I will just add what. Yeah.
yes, Rajesh, please go on.
Yeah, so I will add what Sivansh was saying, that uh, if you see the newspaper yesterday also, the FMCG market or FMCG player just were thinking to go rural. So what Sivansh was saying, what companies are thinking now, Varghese Kurian had thought it 45 years back where the future is going to be. So rather than thinking about the stereotyping that we are going to be in rural India, what we are trying to see, we are trying to transform the rural India. We are trying to create social impact, and this is the place where both things are getting merged. When you are able to merge profit with the purpose, you will get tremendous satisfaction and tremendous transformation capability. And the only institute which can merge tradition with technology and the profit with the purpose is the Institute of Rural Management Anand. So we are creating transformational leaders for rural India, not to be settled in rural India.
So
Great.
I would just,
So,
Cesar, with your
just
permission, can I just,
just to
yeah, please.
just to complete the picture of what Shivan started and what Rajesh said, I'll come back to you, Dhansham. Is that what we've been learning about the bottom of the pyramid, right? Where the most of the customer is in the bottom of the pyramid, right? And which was true 45 years back, and which is true even now. And as far as India is concerned, that is not going to change anytime soon. So the only difference is at the time when Dr. Varghese Kurian, established the institute, or we came up with the White Revolution. At that time, the rural picture was different in terms of there was low disposable income in the rural area. Now the good thing is there's a huge populace in the rural area, but the disposable incomes have become better in a lot of places in the rural areas. So in fact, that's a huge market to tap. And a lot of companies, the ITCs and the Maricos and of the world, and if you are a finance person, then if you want to work with the microfinancing sector or whatever that you want to do, even the operations, you have to go. Supply chain, for example, is the best example in the operations role. All of this, I'm sure Ghanshyam and Malika will talk about this in detail, but that is where we need to work with the rural market. So for the rural market, not in the rural market, is, I think, the thing to take away. Over to you, Dhansham.
Yeah, so very beautifully put, Cecil, on that. It is for the rural market and not in the rural market. So I'll just reframe the thing. So IRMA is an institute with a very clear general management focus and consulting focus, with a special focus on rural management. When we are saying special focus on rural management, we are saying the application area is rural management. The principles of management are same, and they would remain same across. But but the principles of management when it comes to rural, they are they involve a bit more detailed thinking, because the consumer behavior there is different. The different types of the buying decision processes are different. So this is one step ahead of what is generally offered at other places. That is one. The second part of that is, that being said, that focus area is rural management. It comes with the combination of all specializations, including finance, including supply chains and operations, including IT systems, and then blockchain, all of those which are offered elsewhere at every other place. So this is one particular part which is very important to be understood in a very clear manner in this particular sense. And when it comes to talking of the specific opportunities in terms of placements and all, which I'm sure we'll be coming back to that later, but the opportunities are immense. Every organization which comes here, so we have a set of icon talks, industry connect talks and all which happen. The major focus and major crux which we have been witness to is, how do we penetrate to those markets? How do we penetrate to the last mile delivery? How do we cater to all those things? Which is which is also an unsolved problem. Every organization is struggling, and that is where our students understand the tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 kind of markets with much better ease, because they have stayed in those markets for some time as part of our village field segment, which is a very important segment which comes there, and that helps them understand that, and the general orientation of the entire coursework helps them in cracking that market pretty easily. That was what I wanted to.
Wonderful. Now, we have addressed one question for those people who had this perception in mind that rural market में जाके काम करना होगा क्या? Do we have to go and work in a rural market after studying in IRMA? Is that the kind of placement that comes in? So first, let's address that question directly. So we've already addressed it in some way, but in terms of, let's say, the numbers, the placements, all of that. So let's do that. And girls, Pranita and Malika, though you have professors sitting here, but do come in whenever you want. Okay, to agree or disagree. Yeah, please go on.
Yeah. So when you are asking about specific rural management, मतलब rural में काम करना है क्या? See, the thing is pretty clear. The offices of all those big firms which come to hire at our place are not essentially in the rural areas. The planning does not happen from the rural area, but the initial focus, in order to understand that particular field, which again comes as a part of our curriculum during our summer internships and during our village field segments, the students have already been exposed to those particular vagaries and nuances of those rural areas. The kind of research projects they work on with the faculty members here, and then multiple other exposures which they have, that is what gives that particular orientation directly to them. The offices generally, the kind of profiles and all, the offices and all are generally the head offices or the branch offices which are generally located, which are generally in at least tier 2, tier 3 kind of cities. But of course, the distribution partners and last mile delivery opportunities, they do exist there, and that's where I think that partially answers that question which you are specifically posing to us. Yeah. In one sentence, it is again coming back. It is for rural, not in rural. It is that way. That's it.
But Dhansham, that also brings me to an opposite question. Okay,
Yeah.
for those people who are specifically interested in the social sector and want to work for the rural markets or in the rural markets, directly impacting the social change, but this might be an opposite thing that they heard. So how about that?
Yeah. So this is where we have a very broad sector association which we have, right? So a very significant portion of our students, around 25-30% of the students who are specifically ingrained and who are specifically nudged in that particular direction, they have tremendous opportunities with great organizations who work on those grassroots level, specifically in those social sector and rural area. We have partners with great organizations like UNDP, with WHO, as well as the NDDB, National Dairy Development Board, which is our sister concern, that actually works on the ground level at each of those places. We have multiple such partners during our VFS. All our VFS partners are not-for-profit organizations with whom we have very good recruitment connects as well. So that is where the students and participants can expect to have a very good balance of that, and there is a fantastic opportunity of choosing that as well.
Okay.
I
So
will
what I
add,
want to hear,
I will just add here
yes,
one line to what Professor Brinjam said. Even somebody who want to create social impact, they can join the grassroots organization and they can join the CSR wings of the global organization. Now the choice depends on the person. So even in the social impact, the opportunity that the managers will get, so they can join the grassroots organization and they can join the global. So the canvas which IRMA is offering to create social impact ranges from the grassroots organization to the global organization, and whether he is talking about the developmental alternative or whether he is talking about the United Nations Development Program or the World Bank Program or the any other program. So the canvas which we are offering to the student is immense.
Right.
I would like to add to both of the professors. So, as you were asking about like the if they want to work on a grassroots level, so IRMA offers a diverse set of sectors like FMCG, FMCD. Then also comes the social sector where we have organizations like Grant Thornton. If you want to go for the on-ground consulting projects in the rural areas, then we have BIF with us. We have NTTB with us. Also, if they want to work with the CSR wings, we have organizations like Vedanta CSR working with us. Even if they're interested in the arenas of sustainability, we have Maruti Suzuki sustainability wings on campus. So there are a lot of options that students get. They can work in the sectors like FMCG, FMCG finance, and they can work for rural. Or if they wish to make a grassroots impact, they can go with these organizations, which the placement process would offer them.
Wonderful. Great. So this is exactly, this goes with what I knew or I understood about IRMA, right? That you have a you it's your choice. And like Professor Rajesh said, it offers a canvas, right? So it is a student's choice whether he wants to take up something that has a direct social impact or not, or a commercial role out there, right? So that is a student's choice in that sense. Okay, great. So could you quickly touch upon the vision and mission of IRMA as an institute?
I will start with one liner and then the Sivans will expand. So, if I have understood what the vision of the IRMA is to transform the rural India, and the mission of the IRMA is to create sustainable, eco-friendly, and equitable India. India, and I am adding to what you have said. The rural market for IRMA is not our corporate social responsibility only. Rural market for India is a market with thriving potential and immense opportunity. To the rural India, you have already said 600 crore people in the world living under the bottom of pyramid concept, which have aspiration. And that aspiration is something which all multinational organizations are trying to go to the rural. IRMA was created with this particular vision and mission. And if organizations want to fulfill their mission to reach and connect and leverage that aspirational potential, the best graduate they can find is from IRMA. And then Sivans will continue.
Thank you, sir. You've already succinctly put it. I'll just add a few things. Of course, IRMA was established as Operation Flood was taking shape. Phase one of the Operation Flood was taking place. At that point of time, India was a very different country. The kind of requirements that they needed with respect to working professionals or experience people with experience, managerial experience, I think that was very different. So IRMA was established with the vision of mission and vision of helping transform rural India. Over the years, the definition of how this transformation will take place has changed broadly speaking, and IRMA has also evolved in accordance with that. So the kind of roles that people used to get out of IRMA, the placements process, the kind of projects that the faculty members do with the participants or the students, that has evolved. The kind of things that we understand as rural development and management, that has also evolved. And so IRMA has also evolved in the last 4 decades and more.
Okay, that is great. So now I want to go to the students quickly. So we teachers, whenever we talk, we give very less time to the students, obviously, because we know more and we want to talk also, right? So we are authorities. So now to the students. Okay. This specifically, I'll start with Pratibha and go on to Malika. The first question to me that comes to my mind is what differentiates? So you might have talked to your friends from other B schools. What differentiates IRMA? What is the USP in your opinion as a student as compared to other B schools?
So as compared to, as the name suggests itself, it's the rural management. If a person really want to look at the what are the problems that the grassroots levels of the country is facing, if they need to know that, then they should come to IRMA. Being a manager, unlike being a corporate, first of all, we should understand what the country is on. So IRMA provides a great opportunity to understand what the real face of our country is. As our professors had said, we have a VFS segment, which is a 45 days program where every student has to go to a village in the country, remote villages, so that they can feel the pulse of the country. and they can decide what our country really needs. So that is what I felt the main USP of IRMA is.
Okay. Over to you, Malika.
I totally agree with her. The R factor is something that differentiates us from the other B schools. The orientation towards the rural. We read all the subjects that other MBA schools would read, but we'd also read subjects like rural science and polity, what is the rural livelihood system talks about. So, and then we, of course, go on a 45 days VFS. And when you are at the village, you understand the intricacies and nuances of how the village system works. You are able to apply the lessons that you've learned, not just the rural lessons that you've learned, but also the marketing lessons that you've learned so far. So I believe that is what differentiates IRMA from other B schools. You understand the urban market, you are reading marketing, you are reading Fortis 5 courses, but you're also understanding what Pranita said, the pulse of India, the rural India.
Okay. All right. Great. So could both of you, before I go on with the same question to the others, could you quickly touch upon more about the VFS that Pranitha mentioned, either of you?
Uh,
So yeah,
Some
so
experiences, some
I'm
examples for the students to sort of understand what it is about and what your learnings were out of it.
Yes, sir. So VFS is a 45 days program where every student has to go to the villages. So in their villages, we have to find like what are the livelihood they are doing. Mostly in Indian villages, they will be doing the agriculture practices. So what they are doing, how they are like the expenditure over there. So we can also align it into a market perspective, in a business perspective. What are the business strategies that we can inculcate? Before inculcating, we can understand the pulse of the rural people, then we can uh, talk about the business strategies that we can apply on it. So we have a rural action component that we have to present to the organizations that we are assigned to. For me, it was ISAF. I'm under assigned under ISAF. So we can set up strategize a rural action component for them by understanding how the people, how the market over the rural areas are. So that is the main essence. I request Malika to add anything. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yes, Malika.
So, giving you a little background, I'm from Uttarakhand. I've been in North for like my entire life, and I was placed in Jharkhand for 45 days. So, of course, when I thought initially it was a set, like, how would I do? But after the 45 days, when I look back, of course, it was a transformative experience for me. You come sort of from a privileged background, and then you see how the reality is working. No, it is very easy to write on like papers that you should increase access to credit, you should do this in marketing, you should do this in marketing, but until and unless you know how are they living, how are they managing their finances, that differentiates you. When you're giving, like, solutions, you start thinking that you were associated with a host family and this solution does not work for them, it's not practical for them. Then of course, it's a very well planned program, the village field segment. You have to pick up a problem. You live in for 20-25 days, you live in, and then you have to identify a particular problem that you have to work for in the remaining days. You're also associated with a faculty guide back from ERMA that would guide you throughout the process. You have to explore the village, you have to understand the nuances of the village, then you have to pick a particular problem. Also, you're associated with one of the organization. It could either be a grassroots organization or an NGO. I was associated with Grant Thornton. So they also give you a particular 1 or 2 week project that you have to work on. So you have to report back to them also. So you get a insight of how the village works, how the village market works. You talk to different people of SHGs and you understand how this works. It's a very transformative experience for me.
Wonderful, brilliant. So I think the students have explained it quite well. So I can go on to the next question, if that's all right. अच्छा, I'm not going forward yet because एक बहुत interesting question है, right? So let the students take it up. How does the college take care of the students during the village fieldwork? Now I don't even know if why a college take care वाला question कहाँ से आ रहा है, but I'll allow you guys to take it up.
Uh,
I think, and
can I
Pranita,
answer the question?
yeah, Pranita,
Yeah.
please go.
Sir,
Please go ahead.
sir, I'm also a member of the VFS committee, so I can answer this question. Like, people like students will be calling us regarding this is the problem, this is the problem. But the thing is that if it is a serious issue, of course there is VFS office, VFS committee which will be working on that. But since it is a rural immersion program where people should like they should find solutions for themselves, it's a program where we are living in the place of a rural community. So we are experiencing ourselves as a rural citizens. We are getting that opportunity, so mostly people will find solutions by themselves. It's like if anything happens, then the committee and office is there. The committee consists of 5 members, and the office is also there. So they will take care of that if anything happens. But mostly nothing will happen because IRMA has been doing it for the past many years.
And Pranita, if the if rural experience may, if we are there to take care of you, then it's not a rural experience anymore. That's what you are essentially saying,
Yes, sir.
right? But yeah,
Yes, sir.
okay,
Yes.
okay. Anyone else wants to take up this question also before we move on?
So from the faculty side, I would just want to take that up. So,
Yeah.
so it is like, see, ultimately, it is a why is it a unique selling proposition or a unique value proposition which IRMA offers? Because this makes the students robust. You go to an unstructured environment where you are definitely, because you are associated with an NGO or with a grassroots organization. The grassroots organization would be arranging for you a host family to live with, so the basic conditions are taken care of. The basic conditions, including most probably the food is also taken care of. But if it is not taken care of, see, it is for the students to fend for themselves. This is the place where you can go for the first time in the field work, where you can go and you can afford to fail initially. See, that is something which, as an education system, at least in India, a lot of places we haven't ever given a chance for students to fail and then learn from that. This is a place where the students initially figure out, okay, this is not working for me, okay, let me do this. And then they are able to create a structure out of an unstructured condition. They are identifying problem for, see, this is the key, they are identifying a problem in an unstructured environment for themselves. Which of those problems is worth solving is what they are trying to identify, and then they are trying to bring that back to the class, and then they are finding a solution in an unstructured environment. This actually helps as a value proposition for the recruiters who come for our summers, because now that the students are able to create a value proposition out of something which wherein value was not known, the value which they can add in a structured environment where they would be given a proper assignment at the summer internships. That's what is actually a very interesting thing. So in one word, this makes our students much more robust. Anything which is a problem, that is which is like an issue, definitely there are very well established mechanisms in place, because it has been happening with us for 45 long years. And also at the same time, we have very long term partners who are very well connected with IRMA in that sense. So there is, and then this entirely happens across India. So throughout India, that is one very important. So that's where there are last minute plan Bs also, which we people generally have in place in case something is found erratic at that place. Yeah.
Wonderful. I think that answers the question very comprehensively. So, one question to Dr. Rajesh specifically. Probably this is you are the perfect person to answer this, because a lot of students are asking in the chat about what exams does IRMA accept, to take admissions, and what are the cutoffs, possible cutoffs that the student can look at. So I think this is one question that is coming up again and again with respect to ZAT, CMAT, and others. So please.
So we are accepting the score from CAT, JET, and CMAT.
CAT, ZAT, and CMAT. Okay, right.
Regarding the cutoff score, this is the question that I will be able to answer once we have shortlisted the candidates. Because we don't know. Every student must know that it is the relatively. So we know that we have suppose 300 seats, and some specific number of candidates we have to call depends on the relative percentile you have got. But definitely, you would be having a much better idea when you speak to other candidates that cutoff. But officially, there is no official cutoff. There are multiple factors that goes into. Because if you think that that is the only criteria, that is not the criteria only.
Correct.
Multiple factors go into mind when we are selecting, because we have to see the alignment and we have to see the interest area. But definitely, whatever the cutoff is there, that depends on what type of other students have appeared for the profile. So there is no official cutoff sort of thing.
So
Shivansh,
Dr. Rajesh, I was also expecting this answer, because for the past couple of months we've been saying this about a lot of institutes, that it's very difficult to say that this is going to be the cutoff. Right, the institutes themselves also not sure, because उस time applicants कैसे हैं, what kind of applicants have come in, how many applicants have applied, what are their profiles, what profile matching goes on. So a lot of factors go into selections. So it's difficult. But even if we could provide some idea about the previous year's numbers, that could still give an idea, rough idea of where it closed. Of course, it could go up or it could go down in terms of cutoffs.
Shivansh, you would like to say something?
Sure, sir.
So it is okay if this question, we want to skip this question, it's absolutely all right.
No, we won't skip it. See,
Because we understand.
It's in public domain. But the thing is, see, last year our cutoff for the general category was 85 percentile for CAT-SAT, and 90 plus for CMAT. And that all depends on the category that we're referring to. But for the general category, it was 85 percentile. The main point is, and I'm sure it is very difficult for the aspirants to consider this, that the cutoffs are different every year, may or may not be different every year, but last year's cutoff has absolutely no play on this year's cutoff, right? क्योंकि last year ऐसा था तो इस साल ऐसा होगा, कोई guarantee नहीं है. There are many questions about कि CMAT 24 ले रहे हैं, 25 ले रहे हैं. We're taking CMAT 2024. So yeah, that is one question. Yeah.
Thank you for taking that question. I want to add another perspective to this question. Whenever students ask cutoff now, I personally know 3 or 4 institutes in India where the institute cannot be decided on the basis of the cutoff of the previous year, and I think IRMA is one of them. I'll take other such institutes also when we come to them. But as of now, I would say that IRMA का ये है कि cutoff देख के you cannot decide the value prop of the institute offers, right? So I think we can put that to rest for now. Okay, so Santosh, तुम जो पूछ रहे हो that I am 83.33 percentile and all, let's wait, buddy. Let's wait. You should fill the form, in my opinion, as a mentor, right? And wait for it. I think forms are open, right?
Yes, forms are open. 20th January is our last
date.
20th January is 3 days from now, right?
3 January.
Okay. Now I'll take a very tangential question. Now we've had a very serious discussion. Abhi thoda, can you tell me about GCMMF now? Please, someone take this in a short way.
Malika, I think Malika would be the best person, having handled placements from the student side.
Like it's a Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation, and they are one of our biggest recruiter, and they are one of our legacy recruiter. They have been and they've played a pivotal role while the institution was being established. And I would like to know what more do they want to know about GCMF? Like it's
I think you missed out on one thing. GCMF basically stands for Amul.
Yeah, GCMF is
people know it more popularly as Amul. So Amul is of course one of our founding fathers alongside NDDB and many other organizations, and continues to be one of our, as Malika very beautifully put it, it is one of our legacy recruiters. So I can confidently say that 60% of Amul's workforce is basically IRMANs, and Amul was perhaps the first institution, one of the first institutions that had IRMANs going in as on the executive level, managerial level. And it continues to be one of our biggest recruiters.
So if I could add a different perspective to GCMMF to this particular thing. So Amul, IRMA also happens to be the knowledge partner for GCMMF. Amul and all, of course, all sister concerns. So Dr. Varghese Kurian had created an excellent ecosystem in terms of complete. So we had completely vertically integrated everything which is required to create a good ecosystem for rural managers and professional managers to flourish. So IRMA has been long since it has been the knowledge partner for GCMMF, and then the exchange with GCMMF is not only limited to recruitments, it is limited to, it is actually boundless in that sense. That's what I wanted to add. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, I think we are getting comprehensive answers here. So from all perspectives, so I think that is great. अच्छा एक और क्वेश्चन है अबाउट प्लेसमेंट्स इटसेल्फ व्हाइल वी हैव talked about GCMMF. Is it possible to get government roles through IRMA?
So Malika, you would like to take it or shall I?
So you can, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll follow.
So we have, so see, when you talk of government roles, we need to be a bit very clear about what do you understand by government. When so we have direct government recruitments as well as we also have partners who are government aided. So we have multiple PSUs like Bharat Petroleum. We have people like NTPC and all also who are, so of course a lot depends on their particular requirement in that particular year, because government recruitments are not that direct, they follow a long term. So this year we had many good recruitments like NAFED, we had a recruitment with Cripco, we had recruitment with so for internships and all we have fantastic opportunities with so we work very closely with the Ministry of Panchayati Raj and all also for internship and all other project like project related purposes. We also, but that being said, NDDB, which is National Dairy Development Board, that is the government organization in which has at least almost around 5% of our candidates go into this NDDB, which is a government organization which is spread throughout. Apart from that, we also have a recruitment partnership with NPCA, National Payments Corporation of India. We have a recruitment partnership with the State Bank of India. Of course, it hasn't happened in the last couple of years, but we have this continuous engagement with these people. And as I'm saying, this government recruitment is a bit, sometimes it becomes dicey because it is their specific policy and their specific succession planning which plays a huge role there. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Okay. All right.
add anything, Malik, on that, or like?
So as sir said, there are different organizations. You cannot, of course, get a government job out of it, but definitely government roles from National Cooperative Exports Limited, National Cooperatives Organics Limited, Cripco, NAFED, NDDB. So there are a lot of companies coming in that would put you in the roles that would directly involve working with government.
Wonderful. So I will go back and take this question because had confusion hai. CMAT 24. It is CMAT 25, my friend. The one which is happening now, January 25th. Am I right?
No.
So
No.
CMAT 25.
It's CMAT
No?
2024. We're accepting scores for CMAT 2024.
Because we will
Last
be
year
closing
CMAT
our,
score?
yes, we will
Okay.
be closing our
Okay.
window
Thank you
on
for clarifying.
20th, that CMAT 25 result will come later. So it is last year CMAT 2024.
Right, you'll be closing the admission forms before that. All right, okay, that makes sense. All right, so let me see if there are any other questions that I've missed. Okay, one question. This might be a little controversial, तो नहीं बोल सकते, but yeah, uncomfortable maybe. But yeah, Hero is saying, what do you look out for an aspirant? I had applied 1 year for IRMA but got rejected even. I'm sure there is no specific answer to this. Any institute, as we said, looks at the wholesome thing. So probably a particular case may not be discussed, but just give a general idea, na, ki what are we looking for at IRMA?
So would the students like to add a perspective about how your recruitment, how your admission process is, how rigorous, or how would you feel about that? I think you take it and then you
Mallika
go.
can give this answer, but I would advise Hero to advise this year also. But Mallika can answer this question.
Yes.
So my interview experience, it has been a year or so, but it was totally based on how am I able to defend what I am saying. They asked me my intro, and then it followed completely on my intro. The panelists asked me about my hobbies, then they delved deeper. What are the books that you have read? Who were the authors? What were your learnings? How have you been able to apply learnings in the real life? The questions were sequential. It was not like that I can cram my intro and go and crack the interview. They would pick one thing and delve deeper into the intricacies and nuances. They would basically see how are you able to like how original you are. You cannot fake it. It's not fake it till you make it an IRMA interview. So, any other perspective Pranata wants to add?
No, the same thing. For my interview, I always say to my other people also, like, this was the most genuine interview that I have attended. Because for every other B school, the interview, like, crisp questions and crisp answers are asked. But in my interview at IRMA, it was like a flow. There was a flow of questions are asked based on how I'm able to convey them, that this is the point that I am able to make. And it also have an ethical point of view that they are looking for us, how genuine we are at the heart. I feel so, yeah.
I
So
will
if
May
add
I?
one line here. I would add one line. For IRMA, we are not entering into any interview. We are entering in a conversation. We are entering in a conversation where we are trying to understand you, whether you align with our value system, whether you want to. There are some socially desirable answers. When you are coming to IRMA interview, you would say, I like rural, I like, by saying 3 times you like rural, you don't become you are liking rural. It has to come from the conversation. So if you are genuinely interested in joining IRMA, I think we would be able to find you.
May I just add a line? Speaking from my own experience, I first interviewed with IRMA in 2012 for the batch of 2012-14. That was early 2012. And I had a score of 99 percentile, and IRMA still rejected me because my interview, I think I tried to fake a lot many things with respect to what I was bringing to the table. And the next year, I went back, worked on myself, and because IRMA was something that I was really passionate about, and I got in. I think what IRMA wants to see in a candidate is the fitment. It's not just the fitment of the candidate with the institute, but also of the institute with the candidate, because these are the people who are going to carry the IRMA name for the rest of their lives. 2 years later, they'll be our flag bearers. It is very important to us. That is why our batch size is pretty limited. It's 300 people. We focus on these 300 people, making the best out of them. So if I could do that, Hero, I'm absolutely sure you can also do that. So all the best, and please do consider applying again.
Okay, I did see a question from a student. Yes, here is Alpha Romeo talking about it. Are there sectional cutoffs at IRMA
No,
when you're
no,
selecting the students?
we don't have sectional cutoff.
No.
no.
No sectional cutoff means that if the student has an overall percentile but is not done well in one of the sections, he can get through. So that is what it means. Okay, great. All right. So now I have two questions of mine which I want to ask, and they are very relevant to the students. So let's stick to these. This is the most interesting and important discussion of this session. Um, what are the placement statistics for the final placements, as well as what kind of profile roles get offered? So yeah, it's a very open-ended question. So
Yeah. So the placement statistics, IRMA always boasts its 100% placement statistics for both summer internships and final placements. And when we are saying 100, we are meaning it 100. Lot of other institutes, there is a general practice of getting people opted out of that particular process. At IRMA, we are 100% transparent on that. We always audit our placement reports, and that's the story. When we talk of other statistics in terms of the basic placement, so we had this year, so let me tell you this year's statistics. This year we have been able to so far place around 88% of our students, and our placement processes are still on, and then in around 1 month we'll be closing the placements, because we will be placing everyone mostly. So that is one. The second thing, the highest salary for this year has been around 31.8 lakh in CTC terms, and then we have our median salary of around 16 lakhs this year, and 15.6 being a lakh per annum in CTC terms, being the mean of this year, which has been a pretty good improvement over the previous year. Last year, 31.2 or something, 31.23 lakhs precisely was the highest salary, with a mean of 14.18 and the median of 15 lakhs. So that was the last year Christmas statistics. When it comes to the summer internships, we have a pretty good stipend in terms of around 58 or 60, around 60,000 of stipend for the 2 months, and then this. Quickly to answer about the profiles are very diverse. The only profile which you won't be finding at IRMA as of now is investment banking, as of now, which we are trying to get into, because we also offer courses on that. But again, we haven't been able to go. So we have a diverse set of profiles. The most important profiles being the sales, and then followed by finance and operations and supply chains, and consulting for various government organizations, as well as for different other levels. In terms of that, in terms of sectors, it is FMCG and FMCD, consumer durables, and then it is we have pretty good representation in terms of BFSI, banking, financial services, and then of course government and consulting. That is the general so it is very diverse. The kind of profiles range from almost all kind of profiles. As of now, high end technology profiles we haven't been able to get into, and the investment banking. These are the only two profiles which we haven't been able to get into. Out of the
Wonderful.
most
I think that is a thorough answer here. Okay, now over to the kids again. Don't mind me calling you kids, right? Pranita and Malika, and that's a habit. Okay, what are the fun things that you have experienced at IRMA? Yeah, if you could quickly share some experiences before we end the session.
I think the best part, like it's 80 days till my IRMA times get over, and if I look back, like for 2 years, I've celebrated everything: Ugadi, Onam, Pongal, Christmas, New Year, Durga Puja. You name a festival, and we celebrate it here with great zeal and zest. I
You
would
have
call
missed
it.
Uttarayan. Abhi just Uttarayan.
Yeah, Uttarayan, correct. So
You
you
enjoy
name a
Navratri while you're in Gujarat, the
yeah, we
Garba.
celebrated. We had like 2 full days dedicated to doing Garba. So we
All
do
right.
academics, we manage our club and committees work, and definitely we have a lot of fun. We celebrate everything. Everybody gets placed, we dance. We have a festival, we dance, we celebrate. So it has been a wonderful experience, and it's definitely 80 more days to go.
All right,
And one
Pranita.
more thing is that, so yeah, so one more thing is that there is no ragging. There is like the senior junior bonding is so nice here that every like every festivals we are celebrating together. If any of the seniors is getting plays, means we are celebrating like without any barriers. So that is the main thing, that the fun element that I'm seeing, that the bonding is so nice here. And of course the VFS is also so nice that we will get to know we'll get connections like anything, like for our lifetime. We'll get huge connections for our lifetime after the VFS. So these are the things that I am finding here.
Brilliant, wonderful. So I think that was a power-packed, informative session for the students who want to really join IRMA. Before we end, let's quickly have one or two words which you would like to put in at the end of the session. Anyone?
So I think the future aspirant I would like to make that at IRMA we are not trying to make you the manager or the leader. We are trying to make you a transformational person who will be able to manage the volatility, uncertainty, chaos, complexity, and ambiguity not only in their professional career but also in their personal life. So the type of transformational experience which you will get at IRMA, I think will shape not only your professional career but your life also. So make a very informed decision when you are deciding to choose a business school or the management school.
From my end, I would just like to add
Wonderful.
one. We are management plus. We are management plus. So that plus comes. We are management plus development. We are management plus rural transformationists. And we are management plus consultants. So we are management plus.
All
Yeah, I
right.
think I'll
Oh,
quickly
please.
put in something. IRMA doesn't bracket you into a kind of professional. You're not a HR wala guy, you're not a marketing specialist, you're not a finance specialist. You're everything packed together in a very nice bunch, beautiful bunch. I mean, I am a live example of that. I joined the government of Rajasthan when I got based out of IRMA, and then I ended up writing for Netflix. So anything can happen because IRMA allows you to grow yourself as a professional so that you can also take your personal liking and develop it into a profession as well. So that is how IRMA is. It gives you wings.
Nice. Okay, I think that is good. So this is a good summary to end the session. Thank you all for being here, and to the students. So thank you for your enthusiastic participation, guys. So I think you will get more such sessions from for other B schools as well, and where we'll have experts and students and alumni coming in to talk about giving idea about the institutes also. Uh, we'd also like to thank IRMA for being a part of this session and engage with the students the way they have and address the queries. Right. Have a great day, all of you, or a great night, whatever remains of it. We will I wish you all the best for the future endeavors. And do let us know in the comment box which B school do you want next. Okay, the information about, and we'll try to work that out. Right. With that, thank you so much, Dr. Rajesh, Dr. Ghanshyam, Shivansh,
Thank
Malika, and
you.
Pranita.
Thank you for the
Have a good
opportunity.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. All the best to
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Good night.